Okay, so here we are launching bombs, folks. Mitch Swanson, your wonderful local Flatlander.
Flatlander. Give it up to the Flatlanders.
So, Dad, what would you say your Flatlander lessons learned would be for coming out to Utah? This is your fifth year in a row coming out to Utah.
I come out every year to see you, Micah.
And we've had a lot of What's been your favorite part of Utah so far?
Riding through my motorcycles, riding through the canyons with moonlit canyons.
That was pretty cool last night.
That's the best.
That was pretty.
At 3 a.m. And they came over to Summit, south by Moab. And they wanted to gas up, and they said, "It's a little chilly out there, isn't it?" On the motorcycle, and it was.
It was cold last night.
But she said, "You're at the summit. When you get down lower elevations, it warms up a little bit." So.
Because you went over Highway 6, the summit, Soldier Summit.
Everybody got to do Highway 6 in your life, bucket list stuff. Got to do Highway 6.
Highway 6 in Utah, personal favorite of Mitch Swanson's Flatlander guide.
But on a motorcycle at 2 a.m, though.
Motorcycle at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Pulling a home-built trailer that you shouldn't have done.
Okay. Well,
never do a test run on your home-built trailer going Wisconsin to Utah. That's tip number 1 of the day.
It's a home-built trailer?
A home-built trailer.
Okay, we'll take a look at that later, folks.
Okay.
All right. Dad, why don't you tell us about the story of how you got me into archery?
Okay. Okay. So, my nephew Greg, which is Micah's cousin, his thing is use archery as a mission field. So what he did is he started getting his kids into it and his nephews and extended family. And then 3 years ago, he got me on board. So I said, "Okay, Greg, what do I do?" "Well, you got to get a bow. Get a bow first." So I go to my welder at work. I bought a 1970s recurve from my welder at work. He said he got to deal with it. But anyway, I brought it to the bow shop for a tune-up, and they said, "We can't touch that. There's got a twist in it. That thing's dangerous." They wouldn't even touch it. So I brought it to Bowfest anyway. Got some very remedial lessons from Greg and Blaze. Thank you guys for your very remedial lessons. And then the next year I upped my game and I got a Matthews Mission right here.
Let's see that bow.
Matthews Mission, baby. It's really, and then I did this because they said you could hand it down to a grandkid someday and they could shoot it because it's not an elk bow. Hey guys. So then where do we go on from here, Micah?
Then I'm seeing videos of my dad and my cousins having a great time in northern Minnesota at Bowfest. And my dad's sitting there with what looks like a bow from the 1800s. Like the literal Robin Hood.
Hey, I shot it like the American Indians. No release or nothing, just your fingers like the American Indians.
I heard you actually didn't shoot that bad either, with that recurve.
Okay,
so.
Give it up for Native Americans.
Okay, give it up for Native Americans. And I can't let my dad go to shooting bow without me. And I was actually at a point in my golf career where I was playing for high stakes $5 golf games, getting super frustrated with golf, which is stupid. And my buddy Al was like, "We need to go shoot some bow, brother." And because golf is just turning out to not be so much fun. And so we go down to Shields and I'm like, well, let's just see if they have a starter pack. I'll just get a bow to start with. $1,500 later, walk out. But it was on sale, folks, with a gift card.
Look at all the money you saved.
Shields, they always know how to get you. So I buy a Matthews Phase 4 beautiful bow and don't even know how to shoot it for like the first year. But actually, when you don't know how to shoot, you actually don't do too bad. I did really well at Bowfest, and then of course expectations crept in. It's my second year, but very inspiring. This has actually been my first year with an archery tag in my pocket. So we got Montana, Utah, and Minnesota for archery this year, and maybe South Dakota in the future. So started to stack them up. But I have to say, it was Al who got me into it ultimately, but it really ultimately was my dad with his recurve who inspired a new generation of archers.
The recurve is still on my man cave wall as a discussion piece for my grandkids. I'll give them a grandkid someday.
Well, that's going to go up on the wall of the lake house or the or the house out west.
Next to my skis from the 70s.
The skis from the 70s. All the stuff
They
you still
work.
use.
They
It's just
still
crazy.
work.
All right, Dad, so you want to walk us through your setup that you drove across the country with?
Okay. All right. This is okay. So homemade trailer. My welder from work did a good job with it. However, there's a few problems. Like, see this bracket here? In Nebraska or Colorado, the weld broke and my fender went flying in the ditch. On the other side, and these are just simple old style, like a lock washer and just a simple nut. Well, that vibrated it all apart and the fender fell off just before the Rochester exit. But it was the Lord Jesus helping me because it made me look at my trailer and the details. So the next day I went to Menards and got some good nylocks, and I double nylocked everything. Then I want the wheel coming off in Nebraska or Colorado or Utah. My biggest problem was the trailer was, walking right and left, like, at highway speeds, it was like,
It was wobbling back and forth.
And that's a characteristic of trailers. So my buddy Kerry, Bridget's father-in-law in South Dakota, said, well, you need some tongue weight. So we bought 2 big rocks, put one big rock there, one big rock there, and it gave me 40 pounds of tongue weight. And it was more stable, it was. But the problem was it bent my hitch down. Bent that down. It's not really, this is good all the way through. It's gusseted nice. By the way, this is just stainless steel, but my welder chromed it out. And it looks like chrome, but it's stainless steel chromed out. I really like that. But he gusseted this good, he gusseted that good, but the whole thing rotated down. Something in here bent, and so the tongue is way down. And
Yeah, let's talk about your Yamaha.
Yamaha, golden, it's a 2009 Royal Star. It's like a big Harley bagger in a way, and like a Harley bagger like this would be what, 50, 60 grand. So I got this from my buddy at work for 6 grand, and it made it all the way out here beautifully, 0 problems with the old Yammer hammer. I got to give it up for Yamaha Engineering. Shout out to Yamaha.
So it's an awesome restaurant. My good friend Kevin owns this place.
Shout out to Ziegler's Winery in Wisconsin. Just Google it and go into the wine. Get a quarterly shipment of wine.
Unofficial, you can't ship it to Utah, but if you don't live in Utah, you can have it shipped.
What are you doing now?
You're gonna have to ship it to Wyoming to go pick it up.
It'd be worth it.
Yeah, but anyways, the unofficial sponsor of today's video, Ziegler's
Winery, right on the shores of Lake Winnebago and Wisconsin.
Link in the description. Check them out. Unofficial sponsor, but we love them. They're
He's my
fantastic.
computer programmer at work, and he does wine on the side.
Even better.
Yes.
We'll have to have him on the podcast.
He will. I want to do a podcast with him on his tractor.
Of course.
Yeah.
So you've become pretty social. Pretty much everywhere we've gone, Dad, you've made friends with every single person in the room.
Like last night.
Like last night, I have a music show local here in Utah. We have a music show, and of course, my dad, upstages me.
No.
goes and
I was just a humble roadie.
who's out warming up the crowd. Did a great job. Last night. Yeah. But definitely said hi to every single person in the room, which I thought was like, that is pretty cool. Very, very social.
That came from my dad. He make friends with random people. So
Yeah.
shout out to my dad.
And where your dad was, you guys were raised in northern Minnesota,
Yes.
Carleton County,
Yes.
Black Hoof Valley. Why do they call it Black Hoof Valley?
Because the deer left their footprints, and I don't know why it was black, but
Black hooves, literally black hooves, the Black Hoof Valley. But that is our homeland. But I think of your dad, Herman, and then Stu, Sherm, Butch.
Yeah.
Life of the party.
oh yeah.
Wherever they went, they made a point to make sure that everyone felt welcome, that everyone felt like involved in the party, and it's great to see you're starting to do that as well.
Not to mention Sue, Shelley, and Teresa.
And Sue, Shelley, and Teresa also do a fantastic job
Yes.
with that as well. So I think it's only fitting that we fire up podcasts and keep that legacy going. I really wish Grandpa Herman would have had a camera in his pocket that he could have just shared all of his life adventures with. That would have been something to see.
he did some of that, which you and I have to capture that and digitize it.
We will capture that. So, but I think that's part of the point. It's that there's so many great experiences, great people you get to meet along the way, that it's great to capture it, share it for others. But yeah, it's a lot of fun either way. So you had 2 fenders fall off your bike trailer.
Yes.
One in Nebraska, one in South Dakota.
No, one in Minnesota.
One in so it didn't even make 3 states, and the bike trailer's falling apart.
One, the nuts vibrated loose and it went bye-bye, and the other one, the weld broke on the fender.
But you were able to get that sorted, and then obviously
Didn't need them, just go out.
battling all of the traffic on the interstate is always a challenge but one thing that I think would be great for the folks to bring out at home is you are talking to you met someone on the road who's podcasting from their motorcycle, and and you are trying to do the same, doing podcasts for your Flatlander's Guide to pretty much everything.
Yes, he was from Atlanta, and he had all the awesome equipment. And at the end of the video, I said, "So are you going to podcast now?" He says, "I'm way too busy to podcast." But he had all the equipment. But I was inspired because I was going to get his kind of equipment to podcast from a motorcycle.
And you're going to be podcasting in the future. Flatlander's Guide to...
Flatlander's Guide to whatever you want.
So check that out. We'll put a link. That'll be really, really funny, because you have obviously a lot of wild experiences from this 7-day motorcycle trip. Oh, here we go. So we have more Flatlander's Guide to Utah tips for you. So let's see. Dad, what kind of footwear do you recommend hiking in Utah?
Right here. Mike helped me get these at Walmart and Ozark Trail. Give him a shout out. And Mike could put a liner into them.
So to go scouting elk, it can be done in sandals.
Yeah.
We're doing it in sandals, folks.
Well, first of all, you go on the interstate, 80 miles an hour, 80 limit. Some people are going 100. But with my trailer the way it was, I can only go 60.
So you have a trailer on the motorcycle.
A homemade trailer. A homemade trailer.
That can't go past 60.
Yeah, 60. Beyond 60, it starts to oscillate right and left.
Not safe.
Yeah, so held at 60, and I was okay with the semis in the right lane.
So you were just...
The Lambos had their lane.
So you're just going on state... You're going on state roads in South Dakota.
I tried that. I said, Google Maps, I want to avoid highways. So they put me on these dirt roads. I said, I'm never going to get there. So I went back on the interstate.
That was in South Dakota?
South Dakota.
Oh, I see. Okay.
I tried it, but it didn't work.
Probably shouldn't take a motorcycle on a dirt road.
I did at 40 miles an hour, but it was 3 miles of that, and I was done with that. I went back on the interstate.
Probably wise. So I like this idea, Dad, of how you're not trying to slow down in retirement, but spend more time doing the things that you want to do.
Yeah.
Dad, so you're nearing retirement age, and it seems as you get closer to retirement age, you just get more wild with all these ideas and visions that you want to do. So why don't you walk us through? You retire in 2 years. What does retirement for Mitch Swanson look like?
Well, I'll be 66 this fall, so most people are retired by now, but I feel great. I want to keep going. I'm like 10 more years working 410s, but I need to work somewhere where they can give me a month off at a time, because I want to do some missionary trips in Canada and Alaska, for starters. And I just got acquainted with the missionary pilot in Alaska, and he said, come up there and help keep his runways working in the wintertime. So I'm going to recruit some old friends from the past, fly up there with me, and get after the Alaskan runways.
All right, folks, we're going to wrap up this first #1 episode of the Whiskey 3 podcast. I have so many podcasts going through my head, I can't keep them straight. My dad, Mitch Swanson, the first guest on the Whiskey 3 podcast, has a podcast of his own, which is...
Flatlander's Guide to the Universe.
The Flatlander's Guide to the Universe. Well, here on the Whiskey 3 podcast is a great start because my dad, Wildman, decides to take a motorcycle journey in 7 days to get from Wisconsin to Utah via Minnesota, South Dakota, Nebraska, Colorado, Utah. Hopefully in that order.
It was.
It was in that order.
That
Okay.
order. Yep.
Had his big Yamaha motorcycle with his bike trailer. 2 fenders fell off in the first 2 states. Was able to improvise, rebuild what he needed to on the road to get it out here safely. Crazy. What was your favorite part of the trip?
Definitely favorite part, riding my motorcycle in the dark, moonlight though, full moon, through the canyons by Moab.
I was a little nervous about that one, but actually worked out well because it was a beautiful moonlit night, and my dad arrives at 3 a.m. into Ogden after a ride. But it's actually, he probably avoided the interstate. The Utah drivers are crazy, so there you have it.
At 3 a.m, they were chill though.
Not a lot of traffic at 3 a.m.,
Yeah.
thankfully. So, but yeah, that's what this channel is all about. Wild people doing wild things, wildlife in wild places, bringing it all together for a little education, a lot of fun, and what a journey. Might as well capture it. All right. Welcome to the Whiskey 3 community. Thanks, folks. We'll see you in the next one.